So we're back 2 weeks out for me. What you've just seen obviously is client Alex, aka Harry Potter, 7 weeks out from his first ever show. Absolutely on the money. We're going to be doing the WMBF, which in my opinion is probably the best natural federation. Last year I turned Ryan pro, and without putting too much pressure on him, that is the aim with Alex this year. We are really pushing to get in the mix. We're not in this to make the numbers up. Face-to-face check-ins now weekly, and that is very, very important in my opinion with prep clients. Pictures don't do Alex justice. And another thing that I did want to say is the importance of taking your clients not only just through an on-season, i.e. prep, but also an off-season, and really getting to know the person. It's not just about coaching this game. Alex, obviously we've had a few obstacles where we've only been able to prep for 14 weeks. From a natural perspective, you usually need a hell of a lot longer than that, as a lot of people know. But I know that Alex has got fucking crazy genetics to get lean. He's got crazy capabilities to get in lean. So we've only actually needed 14 weeks. So this is 7 weeks into prep. We're giving him a little bit of a diet break this weekend as well, because we are quite far advanced, as you've seen on the pictures. So a little bit of a pizza this weekend. When we get a little bit deeper into the show after this weekend, he already knows it will probably be more biased towards higher days and cleaner foods with the refeeds. But he's very similar to me in terms of we both do love our foods. We love this process, we love the journey, but you've got to work with your clients. Sometimes by restricting too much can have the adverse effect in terms of stress and cortisol level. So yeah, we're in a great spot. I can't wait to show you guys the final package with Alex. I'm going to be getting Finn behind the lens again. We love this shit to come and do Alex's show for us. It's on the 6th of October. 6th of October, yeah. So we're around 7 weeks out. So last push really now. Things are coming in perfectly. Foods are still in a good spot. Cardio's minimal, which is crazy for how he looks. And if you guys could see how he looked 7 weeks ago compared to now, absolutely mental difference. So yeah, it really is game on. Let's fucking go. So that is the brand Illegal Nutrition Athlete. Use code SAM10 at Basket will get you a 10% discount. Like I said in the previous YouTube, when obviously being approached in the past, I don't really need to do this. I do this more when I do actually believe in the products and believe in the brand. And like I said in the previous YouTube, obviously there wasn't quite as many products then, but definitely with the pre-workout formula, it's the best I've ever used. There's no crash, great focus in the gym. But now we've got more products to show you. So this has been an absolute prep saver. Electrolytes, hydro, they've got coconut, strawberry, and they've got lemon and lime. Pretty much trace 0 calories. I always have it, people will see it on my story to start my day. I usually get through probably 4 scoops a day. What I've found is if you put 2 scoops in 2 litres of water, that is more than enough. And that also means you're not actually using as much of the product. So if you are thinking about longevity with it, in terms of a price perspective, then, but honestly, great product. I don't get 0 cramps. I know I'm on a lot of water anyway as it is, but great product, definitely would recommend. Then obviously we've got, so, cheers Siri. Then we've obviously got the pre-workout formula, as explained before, absolutely quality. Great ingredients, it speaks for itself, trialed and tested. And then they've also got, which I am now using, I wasn't before. They've got the pump formula. So when I'm in an off-season phase, I won't really have a caffeine-based stim. I will just have the pump. Whereas obviously 2 weeks out now, you need that little bit more energy, and you need to make sure that performance is obviously your main focus. So I do have a pump, and I also have obviously a stim. My flavors that I do mix, so that's black grape, and then with the stim I will have blue raspberry. Perfect combo. Obviously aminos as well, which are now out. So same, you've got coconut strawberry, and you've also got the lemon and lime. I prefer lemon and lime in this personally, but obviously it's personal preference. Same again, great product, great tasting, great to have during your session. It just gives you that little bit of added energy throughout your session. And also for me, and this is what I say to a lot of my clients, there are obviously people in the industry now that say that you're meant to have your EAA in the first half of your session, but it does help get your liquids in by having that little bit of flavour. So I still like to put mine in a 2 litre bottle of water. So that's that. Also, obviously, got a lovely shaker. Creatine, very, very good creatine. With some creatines, what you do find is, because it's not micronized, you get a weird taste. Obviously, these supplements are they are the bollocks. So another one, top supplement, and then finally, and I think the main one for me is the whey. So I unfortunately do get digestive issues with certain types of proteins. This is 70% whey, 30% isolate. I have actually been using this throughout prep since obviously they restocked. Zero digestive issues, absolutely perfect. So if I was ever going to recommend a whey, it would be this one. So that's the supplements. Obviously, like I said, SAM10 will get you 10% off. We're now just going to get pre-workout meal in, get the session logged, and then we're going to get after it. Can't wait, let's fucking go. So things have slightly changed now from 6 weeks out, obviously, into 2 weeks out. Shortly after the last YouTube, I switched from cream of rice to oats, gluten-free oats. I just feel like oats, for me, they don't only fill a little bit more, but luckily for me, they don't really give me no digestive issues. So I have had a few guys asking how I make my oats, so I'm just going to run through that now very briefly. So obviously all weighed out, all good to go. You just want really some lukewarm hot water. That's perfect. Mix your life away like last time, Finn. So that's roughly what you're looking for. I know it doesn't look very appetizing at the moment, but when you do put it in the microwave, it does just give you that a little bit more volume. Roughly looking at 1.5 to 2 minutes. I'll just keep doing it. Minute, stir, minute, stir. I'm sure Finn will speed this process up how he does. Bzzz.
A few moments later.
That's just after a minute. Still for me, that's still a little bit runny. So we just go in for a little bit longer.
A few moments later.
A little bit more. 15, it'll be done.
A few moments later.
So there you go. That's your consistency. That is what we're looking for. Nice and stodgy. And like I say, that is 100 gram of oats and 50 gram of whey. And you are getting obviously a lot there. And because it does get to the point where you are hungry, let's say, you are quite, you turn into a bit of a weirdo with your food. So what I like to do is push my dark chocolate into the bottom. Just tastes absolutely fucking banging. Right, we're back. Can I finally start talking about myself now, Finn?
Let's go.
2 weeks out. Face is coming in, crackhead condition. Team Handsom's finally coming back. No more fat boy. So, 2 weeks out from the regional, which then leaves us around 4 weeks out from the NPC European, which is obviously the first pro qualifier. Big changes since the last time you guys saw me at 6 weeks out, which is obviously evidently going to happen. We are on the pull today. Don't tell Jess I'm on the pull, otherwise I'll get in trouble. Training at this stage, obviously still logging, still like to go off the logbook, purely for the fact we've still got 4 weeks till the main show. I feel like after the regional is done, I will potentially look at pulling the logbook. But for now, the aim is still obviously tissue retention and obviously to keep that energy expenditure up. But as you'll see, when I am training, there'll be nothing past failure. Because we have got a weight cap, the aim is not to cause too much inflammation, that obviously it's going to have an impact on scale weight. But on the flip side, like I say, the aim is still tissue retain. Here we go. Gaffer's brought pre-workout, illegal subs and intra. So yeah, the aim isn't to cause too much inflammation. So like I say, going into the regional, I'm not saying it's not an important show, but it's not the most important show. That is more just the box ticked. And then obviously we go in then to the pro qualifiers. Aim will be, obviously we don't really want to be predicting too far ahead. We want to be turning around with the mindset and saying, look, we're getting the fucking card straight away. But is it going to happen like that? Probably not. Do you know what I mean? That's not even being negative. So we've got Sweden the week after. There's a potential chance of France. Then they have now announced that there will be another chance in Rotherham on the middle of October, and that will be my last show. I think being in prep any longer than that is going to get a little bit more detrimental to my physique. You can start to lose certain areas if you do prolong things too far. So yeah, a little bit of talking today, just to take you guys through it. Like I say, I am at the stage now where I'm a little bit depleted. The aim now is really to deplete the body, deplete the glycogen, really flatten off, so that, like I say, when we do get to peak week and we start the fat load, we get even more depleted. And then when the carbs get introduced, that response goes intra and not cellular. I'm not going to talk too much about that because I've actually got Big JD coming down today to have a look at me. So I'll let him talk a little bit more about peak week plans and how the prep's gone and all that kind of it. But yeah, big pull session. I've only got 4 movements today and then a little bit of arm work at the end. So let's get this session underway in the Mecca. Let's fucking go. Just before we go in on the first exercise of the session, I just want to say one thing that I have actually ended up doing this prep is, and you guys who are in prep will understand this, is prep purchases. I can't stop buying new trainers. So we've got the new Nikes on for the new YouTube. Put in the description a thumbs up if we're good to go. But it is something. I think it just makes you feel better about yourself when you feel like shit. So wrist wraps on, it must be game time. I actually think Jess has just sparked me with that pre-workout as well, because I am absolutely flying. But it's all good, it's all needed at this part. So, with your back training, everyone needs more lat. So I know I've said previously on some Instagram posts that for beginners, it's not necessarily about training program, it's just picking movements that you enjoy. But when you do get to a certain level, obviously programming is important. So for me and for the guys who I've got, a lot of your back training will start on a lat movement. Obviously, not only does it engage and connect them lats, you'll then use more lat going into that following movement. So we're just going to get the first set underway. Like I said at the start of the video, nothing today is going to be beyond failure, just to failure. So we're still going to be taking it there. I do feel a little bit depleted, I'll be honest with you. I do feel a little bit flat, all part and parcel of it. And I think, and like me and Finn had the discussion at the start of the video off camera, the aim of this YouTube is, yes, for me to look back on as the process finishes, but also it's going to be good, especially for like you first timers or people who are fresh at competing, to look back and say, all right, at 2 weeks, that's how I'm meant to be feeling. Because it can get to a point where if you don't know that, you can start to lose your mind. This sport is not easy. You've got to be prepared. And like I said in the last YouTube, financially, you've got to be in a good position, mentally in a good position, and you've got to have a good circle of people around you. So we're going to get this first set underway. I'm fucking ready, I'm flying, and let's fucking go. So, second working set. Usually on this exercise I would do 3 working sets, but obviously it's more now, same again, me and Finn just had the convo off camera, it's more about quality over quantity. So what I actually do is pull volume down the closer we get in towards obviously the competitions. Another thing as well is making sure, if you are doing single arm movements, that you do give yourself plenty of rest from going one arm to the other arm. I think I mentioned it on the previous YouTube, same again. Rest times are so important if you want to get the most out of this style of training. And another thing that me and Finn said off camera again, we've just been talking off camera, haven't we, Finn? We don't even need the camera. One thing that we was talking about was taking more rest. Obviously, the more fatigued you do get, because you're going to need more rest. There's no point, realistically, in either speeding that rest time up or not taking the required rest time as you would when you've got more energy and your foods are higher, because you're going to get less out of your training. So always make sure, guys, that you do prioritize your rest times. Although it may not seem to some of you, I am flat as a pancake today. Very, very, very flat. Foods aren't crazily low. Energy levels aren't amazing, but it is, like I said a minute ago, it is all part and parcel of it. You are looking to really deplete the glycogen, so that, like I said at the start of the video, when you do slowly start to increase them carbohydrates on that peak week, that's when obviously that response goes the right way. Your aim isn't to look good now. Your aim's to look good on show day. That's when you're going to win the show. You're not going to win the show now. You're going to win the show in 2 weeks. So aim now, flatten off. We've got one more set on here, a little bit lighter. We're going to do the Cybex row, and then we're going to do mag focused lat pull down to wrap up the back side of things. And then we're just going to do a little bit of arm work to finish off. So let's fucking go. I know they're only coming down to check up on me. You know what parents are like. When my face starts to come in, my mum gets worried. She makes out she's come down to do cardio, but she's just coming down to check up on me. She's just checking up on me. Good to see me, Dad. So this is a great topic whilst I've got energy. I don't know how I've got energy. It was actually a rest day yesterday. So Big JD just gives me a little bit more food. I had a potato and a burger last night, obviously all homemade. So how the last week's has been zero energy. But today, luckily for Finn, I've got a little bit more. So I've been able to talk a little bit more today, which is fucking fantastic. So with your back training, a lot of the time, it's based on where your elbow placement falls. So use these mag attachments. A lot of people don't actually understand what they do. So this one, obviously it goes this way, where the little thumbnail is. If your wrist is in an internally rotated position, obviously your elbow path is then going to come into your rib cage. So you're going to engage lat. If your wrist is externally rotated, straight away you'll see my elbow path changes and it's going to be more of an upper back movement. So for me today on this, I'm finishing off more lat bias on this mag grip. So obviously my wrist placement needs to be more internally rotated, which is why obviously, wrong way around, which is why I'm using this grip. So just really do take note of that because it will impact what part of your back you are actually training. Something, same again, me and Finn have just had a little chat off camera about is, and like I said at the start, I'm doing this video, these YouTubes as well, just to kind of inform people doing the process. And your sleep, if you are going to bring legit condition, there's no way around, it's going to take a beating. Obviously your hydration's increased, even if you try and pull that hydration back earlier in the day. Like for me now, this is going to sound crazy to you guys, but most days I'm drinking 12 litres of water a day. Do you know what I mean? Which is absolutely crazy. So just as a little bit of info, last night I went to bed at 7:30 because I was fucking starving. But it's all part and parcel of it. I am blessed with the lifestyle that I've got to obviously prioritise this and put the majority of my carbohydrates around my training window. But that does mean obviously towards the back end of my day, the carbohydrates do slightly slack off a little bit, so hunger does kick in. But just to put it into perspective, last night, I went to bed at about 7:30. I was up at 9 for a toilet break. I was up at 11 for a toilet break. I was up at 1 for a toilet break. And then I woke up at 3 and that was it. But one bit of advice that I would give, and I actually got this off a doctor, is if you are feeling like you're not getting enough sleep and you want to wake up, don't. As long as you're still lying there with your eyes closed, even though your brain might not fully be resting, your body still is. So what I actually did this morning was, even though I woke up and I was awake at 3, I still lay there till 4 o'clock. I know this all sounds absolutely crazy and I sound like a lunatic, but it's all part and parcel of it. And like I say, I am just informing you guys. But if you put that into perspective, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. It's still 8 hours sleep. I know it's obviously split, but it's still plenty of rest and I feel fine. And it is just part and parcel of prep. So just a little bit of advice there for you guys. Managed to drag the gaffer, dad of the year in, coach JD. We've absolutely nailed this prep on all bases, and I can't recommend Jack enough. He's just going to go into a little bit of detail now about the prep and how we've managed it.
Yeah, so just throw me under the bus here. Just said this is what he's going to do. So basically, what we started Sam's prep 16 weeks ago. So he's what 14 weeks into prep now.
Yeah.
So 16 weeks into the first show. Started him at a very nice point. Come back off a short off season after a little bit of a tidy up. But just left ourselves in a good position to be able to kick on, and we knew that. We knew that we'd made the improvements that he needed to make. Obviously, we had the advantage that the weight cap got increased. So I think you got, what, an extra £6, was it?
Yeah.
An extra £6, in which he was slightly under the cap. So he's probably, since last competing, he would have, we're going to be bang on the cap. There's not going to be much in between it. So he's probably added a good £8, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's £8 in the right areas. It's like when you're in this game, when you're in classic physique, it's not about just adding mass wherever you can add mass. It's about adding the size in the right areas to create the physique. Sam's got the structure. Everyone's always seen his shape, his waist, his lats, absolutely mental. Now it's just about finishing the job. So we've got a couple more pounds to pull off. We've got a plan going into this weekend to do a little bit of a trial, just a one-day load, just to see how his body responds on that, just so we don't come across anything untoward or anything that we've not experienced in the past at previous peaks. But I've been working with Sam now for ages. We've trained together for ages, and we know his body. So it's just a box ticking exercise, and it's not only that. It's just to drop off a little bit of fatigue for a couple of days by dropping that cardio, and also increasing that food and just leaving him in a nice spot to kick on into his peak week and obviously finish the job off. So we're excited for this one. We're excited. He looks absolutely on today. He will look even better come show day. And then I have to keep on telling him this. We're going to keep on getting better going into these next shows, going into the pro qualifiers. This is the start. We've got to remember it's his third time stepping on stage. So he's still a novice, but trust me, he ain't going to look like a novice when it comes to show day. So let's fucking go.
Hi guys, welcome to our food review. Now we're at luckily for you, it is our food shop day. So obviously we shop at Lidl. For any of you bodybuilders out there, you've got to try and keep finances down, especially in off season, because it can get quite pricey. So we're going to go inside now and show you guys what we buy and what it's like to be 2 weeks out. Funnily enough, I'm fortunate to have Jess, who literally knows exactly what we need. So she just walks around, but when you are in prep, you're literally just like a robot. It's literally just picking the same things up, putting them in the trolley, because obviously you want foods that digest well, but obviously you want to be eating the same foods. So obviously you know exactly what is going in, especially when you have got a weight cap. So luckily for me, I've got the lovely Jessica. She's got the list, so I just literally have to walk around 2 weeks out like a crackhead and just follow her around. I'm like a baby. That's what I feel like sometimes. For you guys that don't know, I've not always owned a gym and been an online coach. I actually did around 8 years after I finished school. I did 2 years where I actually made a living from football, and then girls partying and injuries took over, and then I actually worked at Audi, which is Lidl's brother. So I worked there for 8 years and worked my way up, and then obviously built enough up realistically to go into business with my brother and open the gym up. So yeah, a little fact for you there. Cucumber, biggest one. So just a quick one for you guys, and this is massive. So the difference in 85% to 70% dark chocolate, and I know that's quite picky in terms of sugar intake, is massive. So if you look on this one, the sugars are per 100 gram 21, and then if you go to the 70, obviously the sugars look at 33. So that is quite a significant jump, especially if obviously you are extreme dieting. So make sure that you get the high percentage of the dark chocolate if you do need it. Simply Flowers, best ones. So I'll just tell you before we go inside, it's Jessica's mum's birthday today. So big up Rebecca, hope you're having a good day. Probably going to see her later to drop these off, so I'm just going to get her some flowers because I'm a good guy. They're both very blessed to have wicked parents, so you've got to look after them when you can.
So obviously by mid-afternoon, the reality is Sam will always have a 30-minute nap, because in the morning energy levels obviously are high. He gets all his cardio done, he trains, all that output is done. So before he does another walk, I'll like do a few bits in the kitchen, clean the house. Sam will have a 30-minute nap, and then he like comes to life again. So that is the reality of this prep. So you can actually see him in the lounge now with his eye mask on, which has been a lifesaver, having his nap in the afternoon.